Good morning, children. Hope you are all doing good at home. Stay safe, stay home. And today we are going to discuss, yes, the last part of the chapter 2 that we are dealing with Long Walk to Freedom, written by Nelson Mandela. Hope you have completely understand the part 1 and 2, which deals about narrating the incidents happened during the inauguration ceremony of the first government in South Africa, first free government in South Africa. So we will go through a quick recap through the chapters, the parts of the lesson. It is the oath-taking ceremony of Nelson Mandela he was talking about in the extract taken from his autobiography Long Walk to Freedom, and he was mentioning the inauguration ceremony of the first non-racial democratic government in South Africa that took place on 10 May 1994 in the Union Buildings of Pretoria. Then Mandela sworn as the first president, and he had a speech. In his speech, he pledged he pledged to liberate the people from bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and every discriminations. So he wished the sun of freedom to shine on the country forever, and he promised the people that never he will permit other country to oppress the country again. Also, he started narrating the incidents happened on the day the air show, and he was reminded by the history about the Anglo-Boer War, which happened in the first decade of the 20th century, and in the last decade of the century, the racial discrimination was came to an end, and he was happy about it. Also, he was remembering the sufferings and sacrifices made by many people, great leaders in the country. He named some of them like Walter Sisulu, Chief Lutuli, Bram Fisher, Oliver Tambo, Yusuf Dadu, Robert Sabukwa, etc., who were in the front, who were in the forefront to fight in the apartheid, who were there in the war front to fight for their rights, anti-apartheid, who led anti-apartheid movements. And it was a pain for him that they were not there to witness these moments. Then he was keep on telling that he thinks that the people of the country, the people of the country as the real wealth of Africa. They were finer and truer than the purest diamonds in the land. Even though the whole world believes that Africa is rich of mineral wealth, Mandela is of the view that yeah, the country is richer in the people, with her people. He also tells about the concept of courage to him, courage and brave. He believed that courage is not absence of fear, but it is the triumph over it. Again, he was telling about the concept of love and hate, because he says the love is more human. It is more natural in human minds than rather than hate, isn't it? So racial discrimination taught him so much things. He believes that that sufferings and that experiences gave a good character to most of the people in the country. Then we are moving to the third part of the chapter. In the opening, he starts with two obligations. Two obligations mean the two duties that every man have to do. He says that the first obligation is towards our family. The duties or what we have to do in the life is towards our family, and second is towards our country. He is such a patriotic man who struggled for the whole the country. So in the throughout the paragraph, he is telling that when he sees the fellow man suffering with him, he was not ready to go into his family and hide there. He was ready to work for his country, isn't it? But when he worked for his country, when he was fulfilling the obligations towards the country, it left a part. He left a part that he failed sometimes to fulfill the obligations as a brother or as a son or as a father or a husband. That two obligations one have to tell, we have to keep in mind that. So then he keep on talking about freedom. So he was free as a boy. Yeah, he was born free, right? Yeah, as Rousseau, French revolutionary Rousseau, say in his social contract that man is born free and everywhere he is in chains. This is the same concept, or this is the same thing that Nelson Mandela was repeating here, because of racial discrimination and apartheid, they were in chain, they were denied rights. They were born free. Nobody denied any rights when they were born, but when they are living in the country, they were in chains. They were denied of their rights and duties. So, as a boy, Mandela was completely free, but what happened when he became in his young ages? He realized that every rights or freedom was taken away from him. Not only from him, when he see around the world, or when he see this around him, the fellow people, the people around him were also suffering of the same condition, same situation. They were also struggling because they were not given any rights or duties, because they were taken away. All the freedom are taken away from them. Then what happened? It was at that moment he realized about the situation, and he did join the African National Congress. African National Congress, and he began to work for his nation. He first wanted freedom only for himself, but when he looked around, he could see that every people around him need to be liberated. So he went on in working African National Congress. It was this desire for freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self-respect that animated his life. That transformed him into a law-abiding man to a rebel or a criminal, because those who ever oppressed, those who ever was against the rule were considered as a rebels. So such was the situation. Nelson Mandela became a rebel in the country when he fought for his rights along with the rights of his fellow people. Again, in the last paragraph, he was telling about the liberation of oppressor also. Until now, he was speaking about the oppressed, that people who were oppressed by the rule, by racial discrimination. He was so open-minded that he thinks about the oppressor also. They were also in the prison of hatred. He thinks that along with the oppressed people, these oppressors also want to be liberated. From where? From the prison of hatred. They were both. He end the lesson by telling that both of them, the oppressor and oppressed alike, are robbed of their humanity. What make a real human is the humanity, the human feeling in him. But when a country is like this, South Africa was put over by racial discrimination, or it was suffering all these decades through racial discrimination, both the oppressed and oppressor were robbed of their humanity. This was the chapter he deals with. So, if we go for a quick recap, Nelson Mandela was talking about the inauguration ceremony of his government and what all sacrifices or sufferings the country had gone throughout these decades of racial discrimination, and what all thoughts which have come to his mind, or his moments from history, from present and past, and everything. He was hoping for a better future for his country, and whatever, he was very really open-minded to think about the oppressor along with the oppressed people. So go through the chapter again. If you have any doubts, you can send me the doubts. So here are the meanings of some difficult words. Obligation means a duty or commitment. Inclination means a natural tendencies to natural wish or like. It can be your desire or like inclination towards something. Illusion is an apparition that is not real. Okay. Ripped means to pull apart. He was taken away from. Transitory means not permanent. Curtail means to reduce or restrict, deny. Prejudice means a strong dislike towards something or a preconception about something. We are prejudiced in our mind. So these are the difficult words. If you have any other doubt regarding any other words, you just send me the doubts. Some questions you have to write it on. So what twin obligation does Mandela mention in the lesson? So we talked about the twin obligation in the opening of the part 1. So part 3, which was it? What freedom did Mandela enjoy as a boy? As a boy, he enjoyed all freedom to do everything. So what are they? What made Mandela join African National Congress? and define Mandela's view of freedom. Okay, then an assignment for you. While you have read whole chapter, right? So what does freedom mean to you? What do you mean by the word freedom? In your life, what do you mean by it? So, does this chapter change your concept of freedom? I just want to know, after reading this chapter, you got what is real freedom mean by. Have you got it? Okay, write it in around 100 to 120 words in your notebook and send to me. Next day, we will discuss about the exercise of the chapter and the whole summary. Before that, if you have any doubt regarding any part of this lesson, send your queries into the personal number. Okay, thank you.